Welcome to the video blog. This is the latest here on Storm Talk. This is Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good. And we are tracking the chance for more storms this afternoon. We're under the severe threat. This is the last of it, though. After we get past this round, then things will relax the rest of the week. And this is not going to be a major deal this afternoon, and I'll explain why in just a second. But certainly some improving weather the rest of the week. In fact, the rest of the week when it comes to the Derby events, things look better and better each time we get data coming in. We like that trend because for a while there it wasn't looking too great. All right, let me start you off with a view from space. Let's take a look at the actual satellite image from space. And you can see we got some clouds developing here across areas of Kentucky. These are not very low clouds at all. There are some lower to the ground cumulus clouds, little cotton balls that are showing up there in a speckled fashion, Indiana. That just shows a little bit of instability there as the ground continues to heat up. We'll probably see more of those develop here for this afternoon. In fact, you see them a little bit, as typically the case. They're lifting up because of the mountains. The air goes up and over, and you get some cumulus clouds developing. This is what we're going to be looking for, though, to develop in our area. Once we start to see the more speckled look here of cumulus clouds, then we have to wait and see how many of those actually can grow into actual thunderstorms. And they'll probably look very similar to this when they develop. Very spotty, very cellular, and some of these will be strong. Some of these may be briefly severe, but we're not expecting a massive line of storms come raking through the area this afternoon or major supercells. These are going to be very tiny cells overall they're going to be developing, and then we'll see how it plays out. The reason why they're going to be tiny cells is the amount of moisture we have. You know, yesterday it was pretty humid across Kentucky, but we did not have a satellite image like this. You know, we had cloud cover. If we had sunshine combined with all the moisture we had over the state and the wind fields, it would have been a much more active day for Kentucky. And thankfully, we had the clouds to kind of keep things at bay. Today, we've had the sunlight. We haven't had the thick cloud cover for most of the day. But the moisture levels in the lower atmosphere has been really pushed off here to the east into the Appalachians. And that is your best shot of seeing really severe weather, in my opinion, is going to be found in here. Later on for today versus anything you do further west. And the more west you go, the drier it gets in the atmosphere. So it's going to be a situation where I think I-65 is going to be that dividing line between typical thunderstorms and anything severe that could potentially take place. I'll widen the view out, switch the radar over, and take the satellite off there. You see a flood watch in effect for areas of Tennessee. No watches in effect for Kentucky, by the way. This little piece of energy, though, is rotating around the parent low, and it's going to arc itself, already is, into Kentucky. We're getting the reaction here, some high clouds in south central Kentucky. What I'm going to wait and see is if the cumulus clouds then react to it and start to develop as this approaches. It's a little ripple in the atmosphere, and as it gets closer to Kentucky here this afternoon, and with so much heating taking place, we should start to see at that point thunderstorms begin to pop on the radar. Based on that timing, we're thinking, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we'll start to see some stuff develop. And this is a constant flow. It stretches pretty far back, so we could see redevelopment of the cells over and over and over again until about 8 or 9 o'clock before finally they get pushed off to the east there. So that's kind of the radar trends are looking as we head into this evening. Now, this is the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook. Just came off the wire a few moments ago. Anywhere in the yellow is the risk for severe weather. It includes all of us. Pretty much our viewing area east is the main threat. But as I mentioned, you get into drier air and cooler air, really, as you head to the west. Much more unstable here across the Appalachians. And that is also where the best chance will be to see some stronger storms. Also, our wind flow, because of the way this piece of energy is southwesterly. And the winds aloft are westerly. That is not exactly a great recipe for tornadic weather, by the way. To get tornadoes to really mature, you need almost due south at the ground level and a westerly wind as you head aloft. We call that veering wind or winds that change with height. And there are some indications, there are some south winds right now being reported. East Tennessee, southeast Kentucky, even closer to Lake Cumberland's almost a due south wind. If there's going to be anything tornadic today, I think that'll be the zone you got to watch, because when you take that south wind and you turn it to a west wind instead of a thunderstorm, then you got to watch for rotation. For us here in central Kentucky, again, most of the wind fields are southwest and west aloft. That's not a lot of turning that happens. It's a gradual turn, so you get more straight line winds, damaging wind gust, and you get hail that comes out of these, a lot of lightning, but the tornado threat just isn't really there given the way the wind fields are set up. Different story across the Gulf states. Once again, we're talking about a significant tornado outbreak in Mississippi and into Alabama. You're saying they just got hit yesterday. Why is it not over here? Well, because the low pressure itself hasn't moved any. We've just got little pieces of energy that are kind of rotating around, and each one creates a severe weather outbreak. Now, it is crawling to the east, so eventually, as each one of these rotates around, the threat of severe weather will be over with and it'll be offshore. But we've got another 2 days, at least, before the low can get far enough east that we can cut down the severe risk here across the southeast corner of the country. But until that happens, you already see it developing into Louisiana. Got another piece of energy rotating around, the same one that's going to give us our storms, is going to enhance thunderstorm potential here in Mississippi and Alabama. They have a due south wind, by the way, in this area, so they've got a really strong recipe here for some twisting and turning to take place later on for this afternoon. And then eventually we'll see that threat move to the east. For us, it'll happen a little quicker than it will here to the south. I hope that makes sense. Just kind of give you a little more of the meteorology of what is happening here across the country. We've got a situation now where the upper level low itself is spinning, got snow on the north side. Every now and then, if you got enough warm air involved, you can get some rotating storms that get pulled backwards. And there's a tornado warning in northern Illinois. Usually these are cold air funnels that you'll see sometimes. Anything like that tornado is very, very weak usually and isn't on the ground very long. But you can get a tornado warning like you see there in Illinois, but it's very rare and nothing that's overly alarming really when they happen. Nevertheless, you can see the spinning motion that's taking place. So these are the showers that will rotate around as we head into the day on Wednesday. And again, on Thursday, there'll be more that will rotate around, and that shower threat will be there. The change on the models, as you'll see in a minute, is to take this low, and for a while they were moving the low straight due east into areas of Indiana and Ohio, which would keep us under that cool, flow, constant showers. Now the trend is to take the low a little more to the north and then into Canada pretty fast here as we head through the weekend. That means we'll be on the southern edge the entire time, and if we can be far enough north, we may be in the clear. And that trend is what is developing. So kind of a FYI on that. Okay, here's how it looks on Futurecast for this afternoon. Showers and storms, again, react to the heating as that piece of energy rotates in from the south and west. That's what will enhance the thunderstorm potential around the area. Sorry about that. I'm drawing like crazy here. There we go. It'll enhance the storm potential central and east Kentucky. And then they'll fade away tonight. And then we actually could see a little bit of fog could develop. Then tomorrow will be the first day we'll start to see the influence of that main low pressure. We'll be on the spoke, the southern spoke of it here as it passes by to the north. And some showers may drift their way in here by later in the afternoon on Wednesday. I know we're scheduled to be at the boat race. I'm on the Bell of Cincinnati. Kevin's on the Bell of Louisville. And we're going to battle it out, him and I on the Ohio coming up tomorrow night. So you don't want to miss that. And then as we get into Thursday, same scenario, but the low again is a little bit more to the east now. Low pressure is just off the map to the north, so we're right on the edge here of that flow wrapping around that low, so only a few showers around. And if the low position is a little further north, then we can take Kentucky out of the picture altogether, and it'd be mainly a shower threat for Indiana. But we'll fine-tune that once we know a little more. But because of the change here, moving that low out quicker, we've adjusted the forecast for Derby. And I know it says here temperatures in the 60s in the afternoon. We're now going to raise the high temperature into the 70s, it looks like. Low 70s. We've got a shower chance in. I had it in on midday, but looking at the trends already coming down the data, I think we can take it out. I think it's going to be mostly dry for Derby Day and sunny. So all of a sudden, Derby looks fantastic. So anyway, that's the latest thinking right now for this afternoon. The rest of the week, stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. And we'll watch the radar trends today, but it's not going to be a big ordeal. Just a few hailers out there maybe, and some lightning and heavy rain. And maybe our southeast counties have a small tornado threat where they got that south wind still hanging tough. We'll watch you guys for this afternoon and see how long you hang on to that south wind before we can say you guys are okay as well. All right, stay tuned. Much more coming up today at 5.